Hi friends, it's Victor Costa and welcome to the Daily Lift. I hope you're having an outstanding day and I hope today's podcast makes it even better for you. Are you focused on the things that you want? Or are you so focused on the things that aren't there? There's a real difference, When you're thinking about things that you want with a desire and a joy and a how nice it will be when these things come, and with an optimism and with an expectation, it's so much different than thinking about the things that you don't currently have. And for those people who continuously think about the things that they don't have, they should not be surprised if those things that they don't have continue to not be had. Whereas the folks who are optimistic about things, the folks who say it'll be wonderful when it arrives, or I'm looking forward to that, or really have a sense that they are happy and they would really just enjoy or like something, have a much different sense of things than folks who are looking at what they don't have, And one of the best ways, of course, to get more is to have gratitude for what you have now. And that doesn't mean that you have to love crummy conditions. Of course, there is an understanding of sometimes when things aren't great, and that provides what my beautiful friend Esther Hicks calls the contrast of things, right? You have to know something stinks in order to want something more, but you just kind of want to leave it at that. You recognize something isn't great, but at the same time, you don't linger in it, and you don't sit with it, and you don't marinate in the garbage. You look forward, so to speak, and you start to come up with a list of things that you might like. And when you think of those things, you think of the things that you currently have that are wonderful, and you refocus, if you will, as to looking forward as to some of these things that you don't have in your life, rather than looking at the scarcity, right? There's just two ways. It's a subtle difference, but there's two ways to think about these things and two ways to look at these things. One is not having but looking forward. The other is not having and resenting. So, of course, if we're in the not having mode, we would love to somehow get it on our radar that we are in the expectation of something coming into our lives, and how fun it will be when it arrives. And so I want to talk to you about that. And I also want to remind you of the tremendous abundance that there is already. Now, if you don't believe me and you don't have abundance in your life, do me a favor, walk into a Whole Foods supermarket, go into the produce aisle, and just take a look. Take a look at the amount of food. Take a look at the variety of colors of food, the different smells, the different tastes of all those foods. So there's abundance. And you see that we didn't manufacture any of that stuff. That stuff is already here. Of course, you have to work to convert it to capital and money in order to convert those beautiful foods to your own benefit. But at the same time, you understand that abundance exists, right? And it's not out of reach. It's all here for us. And it's a matter of just getting into the idea of expecting it. Now, I know this sounds hard to do when you're grinding and nothing is happening, or you're working very hard and getting up early and coming home late and you don't have any money, but you can't focus on the money that isn't here right now. You have to think about how nice it will be when it shows up. But you can't look back with resentment and grit. You have to just be relaxed about everything to allow it to show up. And I created a poem that hopefully will put you in that kind of radar up and expectation mode. Okay? So here we go. It's all here. It's hard to believe what God has thrown at our feet. The bounty immense, practically laying in the street. It makes me want to weep. You just have to bend a little to reap. Now bend, my friend. It's not too steep. I believe in you. Just reap and repeat. Now, to those of you who don't know what I'm saying, you might find this hard to believe or hard to understand, but I can tell you that when you're relaxed about things, when you are optimistic about things, and when you're looking forward to things, they show up in your life. And when you are looking at the lack and the scarcity, that will continue to show up in your life. There's just no way around that. So if you don't have something and you want it, you better get into the idea of looking forward to it and start pretending and fantasizing. People ask me about bodybuilding all the time and fitness because I'm into that. And they say to me, how am I supposed to look like Hulk Hogan when all I see is Pee Wee Herman in the mirror? And I say to them, the only way to look like Hulk Hogan is to see Hulk Hogan in the mirror. I mean, we're using those terms because someone said that specifically to me, but that means anything that you want. You can't look at what's in the mirror right now if you want something different and just get stuck and fixed on that and focus on it. In order to change anything, whether it's your body or your finances or your job or your friendship or your marriage or whatever, you have to be forward-looking and look toward that thing that you want. You have to see it how you want it, not where it is right now. So I'm going to read that poem one more time to you, and I hope you enjoy it. It's all here. It's hard to believe what God has thrown at our feet. The bounty, immense, practically laying in the street. It makes me want to weep. You just have to bend a little to reap. Now bend, my friend. It's not too steep. I believe in you. Just reap and repeat. Victor Costa, June 10th, 2018. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I wish you nothing but the best. Victor Costa, signing off for the Daily Lift.